Hey you, so in this video, are precious metals a good investment? I'm going to be going over just that. It was a question that was put to me, and I'm going to obviously push back out there and see what you guys' opinions are. Now, there's a couple of things to take into account, and I'm going to be breaking them down, but I was asked by an individual, they had $5,000 to spare, and they wanted to know whether putting money into metals or cryptos, which one would be the better investment. So I'm going to break down my response, but it'd be fantastic to hear you guys' answer. So before we get into this, I'm going to mention I do have a bit of work going on in the background, so you may hear random drilling kicking in at any point. But breaking into this, I was contacted by an individual that basically said they had $5,000 to invest, and they was looking to invest on the short term. Now, it's not every day an individual's contacted me and being that upfront and blatant, and it was basically they don't want to go long, they have no interest in holding for the long term, and whether precious metals in general was a good form of putting some money in, and whether they'd see a return. Now, the way I looked at that, they obviously mentioned cryptos. Now, you can't, love them or loathe them. You can't really dismiss them these days. If individuals got money, once upon a time when I first got into stacking, cryptos posed no threat to physical metals. It was just something that was there, and you was either with it, it was like a geeky thing, or you wasn't with it, and it was just not with it. They took off obviously since Bitcoin had this massive rise, and now if an individual's got $1,000 or £1,000, it's going to be something that they may consider. So asking me whether for the short term, which is what was interesting, precious metals physical was a good investment, I ended up basically stating that when I first got into metals, cryptos, and when we say cryptos now, it's not like you just think Bitcoin. You've got the thousands of altcoins also as an option, wasn't even available. If it was as it was right now, would I have been interested? I know individuals that have gained from the stock market, the paper market, and the crypto arena and precious metals. So to write it off and only say, for instance, physical is the best, I couldn't really say that now with with a clean conscience, because you can't write off the gains that individuals are making over there, and especially now everybody wants quick gains. And for an individual to blatantly ask me, this is for a short term. Now, looking at it as it is in today's market, I ended up saying, look, depending on what you get into and how it's been for me, precious metals physical right now, is it a good form of an investment? A lot of people are now claiming that it's a preservation of wealth. They have no intentions of selling the metals. They're going long by default. Technically they do collect the coins because they like them, and the likes of, for them it's not a form of investment. But for me, I definitely looked at it like that. I didn't get caught up hook, line and sinker to become an incredible Hulk stacker into believing that silver today would be, if it was £20 today or £15, it would be £150 tomorrow. I took that with a pinch of salt. I made sure I invested in what would be highly liquid for me, which was these Britannias at the time in bulk. And for me, seeing where it's been, it all depends on your patience and how you really look at it. Because for me, I knew I wanted to go long, but I had a date in my head of when I believed we'd get a price correction. There's individuals that sincerely purchased them for tomorrow, or any time now within the year, your average Eagle or Britannia would increase in price, and that was them looking at it as a form of investment. Now, halfway through my stacking, as I've documented on my channel, I realized if this is not going to happen and this is what I'm waiting on, and I'm technically using the bullion, the government minted bullion, as a hedge and a protection of wealth, I would get more into these collector coins. And that's what the bulk of my channel has practically been, and that's been me picking up these collector coins and flipping them. Now, for me, this is where I would say it's been a good investment when we're looking at precious metals as a whole. So if you're looking at your standard bullion grade, which is becoming rarer and rarer these days, because you'll have a government minted bullion coin that's technically like this. It's a collector coin, whether how you look at it or not. You're going to be paying a slight premium over just pure gold or silver ounce weight. Here is where I saw precious metals being a great investment, because one, it was a precious metals you was investing in, and two, it was a collector coin. You're getting both markets there, so the precious metals market and a collector market. Collectors items come in all range of things, so you've got people paying hundreds, thousands for stuff with close to zero intrinsic value. So this was a perfect bet for me. Once upon a time, to answer the question, I would have said collector coins was a fantastic form of investment for precious metals. Now, I know individuals that have contacted me in the past, got into some of the collector coins that may have been on display, to only want to sell them now because the market's tightened up. It's not what it once upon a time was. And now they're seeing opportunities for the short-term gains over in the crypto arena. So I put it like this. Now, I'm not going to tell an individual, yep, 100% dive in. I gave the best neutral answer I could give, and I would say, well, look, it's best to go ahead with both. If you're looking for short-term gains, find the right collector coin pieces, if that's what you're definitely after. You may have the option of grading them, which with the Rwandan coins has worked fantastically, because, you know, when you're grading on already a limited edition coin, I'm talking about the gold BU here, and then you get a 70, you know, you're in a class of your own. That's an arena which is gracefully not being tainted by the dealers. So, you know, just as a secondary market seller, I would say that's done fantastic. But then we've had, you know, the Freedom Frenzy, which is called somewhat of a hold up on the dog and the likes of, so prices ain't really rising as fast as the first ones did, but that's neither here nor there. It was, I said, if you can find the right collector pieces, you could split your money in half. Now, in terms of crypto, I can't recommend nothing to the individual. They had whatever they was looking at. But it was said you could then see what performs best for you, or what would perform best. But the way I view metals now is that more so, if you're going to be investing elsewhere, metals is a fantastic place to put your profits. You know, if you're going to make profits from outside there or over here or over there, and then come along and put it into a collector coin, that's not the smartest thing. If you're going to make profits, for instance, in the crypto arena, you can come back and slap a large amount of these profits. So you're going to go long term with that. If you're going to take the profits and want to reinvest it, then reinvest it back into crypto. You know, it's what I've been doing with my profits from my collector coins. I would pick them up, as I've always stated. I'm selling metals for more metals. These collector coins are also on display here at some point, will be flipped to a dealer to acquire more bullion grade government minted ounces. Now, I was taking the profits, putting it into metals and putting it back into metals. When I'm comfortable or content, or I don't think the scene's looking as nice as it should be, I'll then do a sell, for instance, for these, the box I've got of these, and acquire more bullion grade ounces and sit on these for the long term. I personally don't feel that current standard bullion or weight even is the best form of investment for anybody that wants a quick buck or looking at this short term. I've always said long term is minimum 5 years, and then go ahead longer. If it's like your pension or IRA or any one of those, then it's fantastic to get the best. I've always mentioned which I find the best, and that's been this here. If you're getting in now, I know more individuals that got in, purchased these coins in question right here, and have ended up selling because either they got in too early, they needed the funds spared up, or they also believed that, you know, they must have watched the video and believed that at the end of the year, come September, October, November, whether it's the Shemitah or whatever was going to kick in, and it would be raining Britannias or Silver Eagles for them, and that hasn't been the case. So the way I see this, and really to an individual inquiring or asking now, is metals right here, the physical bullion grade is fantastic to put your profits from other arenas. If you want to be making profits, you have to be real with yourself in the end of the day. It's done great for me in terms of, if I would have had the money I invested and pumped into my foundation sitting in a savings account, you know, the pound's done horrible since when I first got in. But currently, even with metals, my bullion grade, it's been my collector coins that's really helped reinforce and boost my standard foundation. It's helped me to acquire more ounces and even have a lot more fun within the game. So I think that has been a real crucial part. If it was just me stacking weight and picking up pieces like this, I would have to have had the mindset that this is long term. You know, I'm not looking to see anything anytime soon. I'm stacking and just waiting to see that day when, you know, you turn on the main headlines and we're in another economic crisis. You know, we're going through some type of recession, and that's the only thing you're going to really be putting it into, and that's going to be the physical metals, a definite stable source, one of many. But looking at this now and saying is it a good form of investment? Someone's got £1,000 and they're asking me, hey, what do you reckon? Should I put it into some metals or some cryptos? I'm gonna have to tell the individual it really depends what you want. I can't even mention now like the Perth Mint Lunar series is on fire. You know, go grab a couple of horses or the new Kookaburra coins or whatever, and it's destined to do great things because the market's slowing up as we're all seeing. Of course, we've got these new coins, which I'll do a video on as I've had a few questions, you know, from the emus to the swans, but I don't think that's going to really save the current market when it comes to collector coins. There's new tactics that are going to need to be put into action if you really want to make money in this collector coin market. So that just leaves the individuals that are stacking for a preservation of wealth, or just because, you know, they know that metals is where it's always been, and it's real money and true money. So I think that, if anything, is the most important thing that you need to be doing and realizing what you're doing right now. Whether it's a fantastic investment, well, it can be, but you know, you really have to wait till the end of the line. We're talking everything's in motion. We've seen a price correction and we're in the full swing of things. You know, we may get to a situation, definitely don't believe this, where only gold goes up and silver stays where it is, you know. So this is why I stack both. We may get to a situation where it goes up a little, you know, maybe to a previous highs and doesn't do nothing from there. So you could be missing out on other opportunities. Of course you could. There's a lot more available now than from when I was first stacking. So looking at it, especially when we're talking weight or anything from a pure quick flip, or, you know, is it great on the short term? I would say no. If you're going to be putting your money and want to put your money into something that's not as volatile, and you know you can be definitely pumping a lot of gains into this, it's the best thing to do it with. But for a quick flip, I would personally say no. But I'd love to hear what you guys think. Do you think precious metals are a good investment in the short term, or are there better options out there? You know, a lot of people have contacted me about paper investing, you know, in the paper market and not the physical. And I've always heard, in terms of, you know, taking gains, it's always been fantastic, but I've always steered clear of the stock market. It's never been for me personally. But, you know, I understand that over there you could be definitely making a lot of gains, so you don't have to worry about holding the physical. And that's where a lot of the big money, whenever they're involved in precious metals, that's where they are. So maybe that's obviously an option for individuals that are looking at it like that. But, you know, seeing my channel and seeing all these coins that I'm showing, a lot of the times I've always made the gains of the collector coins. And you can definitely still make gains. There's still a lot of opportunity out there. You just really need to screw your cap on and get creative. But other than that, I would say be careful if you think you're going to get into metals today. Load up on a bunch of Silver Eagles or Britannias and just believe within the year, or come November, September, October, you're going to be seeing a massive price increase, and then you're just going to do whatever you got to do from there. Precious metals isn't that. It's real money. It always has been money, and it's something a lot of people will flock to if they get burnt in other arenas, especially if they want to put money down for the long term. So if you've got a set amount of funds and you want to triple it and whatever, you may want to look into both arenas. But if you want to put gains into a stable, solid thing that's never going to really crash to zero, then by all means, I would say precious metals is where you want to be, whether it's collector or standard bullion. But once again, it'd be fantastic to hear you guys' opinion on that. So hate it or love it, guys. It'd be great to know what you think of this video. Don't forget to come and follow me on the links that I've left in the description. Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'll catch you guys on the rebound.